The last time on Pete and his bus. This time on Pete and his bus, I swan about with a topless Italian. I do a bit of maintenance work, 2730 gets a full-on nose job, and we go to collect 2634. Hello and welcome to another episode of Pete and his buses. As you all know, my first bus is a bar for the events industry. It's been out loads, which has been great. I've basically been able to go back to work, but I had slight non-bus related technical difficulties at the last event, so that I'm going to sort out straight away. Working and operating old vehicles, there is always stuff to do maintenance-wise. And if you're telling me there isn't, then you either haven't discovered what needs maintaining or you're lying. We're inside 2355 downstairs in the bar area. It's been out this weekend, it's come back and everything's fine. But one of the coolers decided not to chill down properly. Now our bar is cross-plumbed and we have a backup one, so it wasn't an issue to operate it, but I need both of them to be working properly for the next set of events. So my friend Matt's diagnosed it as a thermostat. The part has arrived. It took a while because some people decided that it would be great to leave the EU, and now I've got to pay twice the price and I've got to wait an extra week when it gets stuck at customs to come into the UK. So thanks a lot for that. Really, really great. My political rant is now over and I shall fix this cooler. Just to explain, beer comes out of a beer keg, it then travels into one of these coolers which has 5 meters of beer line inside it, submerged in icy water surrounded by an ice bank. So by the time it comes out the other side, it is perfectly chilled and ready to be served. So this is the thermostat that we pulled out, we've checked it with a multimeter and this is the culprit. And I'm now going to install this beautiful new one and check if everything's working. If these coolers aren't working, the beer runs through a warm line, which makes it come out looking like an ice cream. Can I have a flake with that, please? Very careful not to bend it too sharply. All we've got to do now is connect the electrical connectors the right way around. Luckily, we have one next to us that is the same, and that should be a job done. Right, the water's in it. Let's switch it on and see what happens. And now for the latest headlines. A large ball of flame has been spotted in the local Tunbridge Wells area. Also, reminiscences of what looks like a London double-decker bus. So I've switched it on and you can hear it whirring around in the background. Before, when we switched it on, the fan wouldn't switch on, and the first thing that happened when I flicked the power on, the fan went straight on, all the lights are correct, the water's swirling away, and she's getting cool. I love a good fix. Well, this proves that I'm not just a bus wanker, I'm also a bar tech. Cheers. And now back to RML2730. Today I'm going to paint the grille. You say paint the grille, it's already red, like everything else. What does it need? Well, Brutemaster bus grilles have gone through quite a few different stages of design. The original concept didn't even come with much of a grille at all. One was then added as a kind of an afterthought, and eventually the mainstream design looked a bit like this. It was a fiberglass piece with a chrome trim attached to it. It then gained the chrome triangle up the top in the middle, which included the badge, and eventually the chrome was deleted altogether and they used to just paint the fiberglass surrounds in silver. RML2730 has the last version of the grille, so I'm going to paint the surround silver just like it should be. The other thing which also differs from bus to bus is the actual color of the mesh. Some are red, some are black, some are silver. I think originally it probably would have been red, but I prefer the look of the black, so that's what I'm going to do. As I peel the masking tape off, I discover to my horror that all is not well. The masking tape has sadly taken some of the red paint with it. Oh, it's so frustrating and so boring because the only thing I can do to sort it is actually completely repaint the whole thing. Why this has happened, I have no idea. I've stuck plenty of masking tape on the bus with the wheel arches and the wheels and nothing's come up. It's all been strong, lovely, but with the grille, for some reason, it has caused it to flake. And yeah, like I said, here we go, let's repaint it. As you lot might have gathered by now, I'm not really the type of person that's going to get very upset and sad about this and sit down and think about it for a very long time. I'm just going to get up, crack on, and fix it. I did, however, use a lot of swear words when I discovered the problem, and some of them I'd never even heard before.
Reload paint gun.
I did it again, didn't I? I painted without a mask. I know this sounds ridiculous, but when I fill my paint gun, I get all excited about, sort of painting what's in front, and I genuinely forget to put it on. From now on, every time I do that, I'm going to slap myself in the face, and it's not going to be nice. So the first coat's gone on really, really lovely. It's obviously really small surface area to paint, so it's very quick. Rather than letting it dry and then paint again, I'm actually just going to sit and wait till it gets a bit tacky. In this climate, it should only take about half an hour, and then actually instantly hit the second coat. That way, it's out of the way and done, and then I'm going to let it dry overnight. Fingers crossed, no runs. Fingers crossed, it's on there properly.
Reload demug.
So rather than running into trouble again, I've actually let the grill dry for 2 days. And I don't know about where you people all are, but over here at the moment it is boiling hot. So that's perfect. I just didn't want to take any chances having now painted it twice. I've also been out shopping and I have bought some tape. This is frog tape. It was recommended to me by a friend who does a lot of paint work, and this yellow one is specific for delicate surfaces. Oh, and by the way, the paintwork from 2 days ago looks the box. I'm really pleased how this has come out, but there's a couple of bits where the paint has slightly gone onto the black. And I am about to cheat really bad. This is a Sharpie. It's a pen that does black. Every decent workshop has to have a Sharpie pen. You never know when you might need it. With a few dots here and there, the black inserts on the grill look absolutely perfect. But I'm going to crack straight on, and I'm now going to use the green, the yellow and the blue frog tapes to mask this entire grill up to paint our silver surround.
A video about masking tape. Why do you guys watch this? Stupid!
So it took a minute to get it right. The stuff works beautifully, but because it is low tack, it also peels off very easily. So I'm gonna really lightly rub it down and then paint straight away before it all starts peeling up. Here we go! So a quick sand and then a quick clean, and you guessed it, the silver paint is Hammerite.
Reload Demug.
So I've had a load of cups of tea, I've been staring at it, realised it's not going to change anything. I'm actually going to choose to peel it off whilst it's still slightly tacky rather than let it dry completely. So let's just see what we've got.
It's looking pretty good, but I'm still quite nervous about it peeling away something it shouldn't.
So now that the grill is finished, all I've got to do is stick it back on. Let's do it! What is is missing from this image? Well, two things. First of all, the badge, but I'm having a custom one made, and trust me, it's going to be worth the wait. And secondly, it's the registration. We're very fortunate that our bus still has the original registration that London Transport issued it, and you can tell because the bus is RML2730, and guess what? 730 is in the reg. So we're gonna stick that on there right now with the help from some people that are really cool. Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
What started out to be a bit of a disaster actually turned out to be rather lovely. I think that's a silver lining. Is that right? Pardon the pun.
For those of you that watched the last episode of Pete and his Bus, you'll have heard me say right at the end that my friend Richard did indeed buy RML2634. He's over the moon with his purchase, but the last time we were there, we weren't able to start and or test drive the bus because it was blocked in and the batteries were flat. We've been assured that it's now out of the compound, the batteries have been charged up, so we're gonna give it a whirl, and if everything is as it should, we are actually gonna drive that thing all the way back to the barn. So join us now for this adventure.
RML2634 has been sitting outside exposed to the elements since 2019. Up until this time, she was actually used for corporate hire and weddings. So we're expecting a bus that probably needs a really good service, but everything else should pretty much be in working order. Let's find out what she's like.
So they didn't clean it, but we don't care, because that's the bit we can do. We've also been told that all the herbs on this bus we can keep. So yeah, I mean, it's a win-win situation, really. I'm no expert, because Lord Barrington does all this for me, but we are going to have a quick look, obviously, at the engine, and we're also going to have a quick look at the gearbox and the quill drive, whether the belts are on there properly, because if anything is going to give us hassle on our trip, that will probably be it. And you don't want to drive a bus without brakes. It's just not really the done thing. So we've checked all the vital fluids, and everything seems to be all right. Yeah, let's fire her up, and we'll see how she sounds. So I've been for a little drive, which of course I can't film because I'm by myself, but everything seems to be working okay. Oh hello, that's a bonus, they are. So my favourite sticker in this cab is this. Ignore occasional coolant warning sensor fault.
The Achilles heel of the Routemaster bus has always been the brakes. Now, I've had a good go at them and they definitely work. I've also inspected the quill drive, which is the backup system for the brakes, and its belts and their tension. I've also inspected every fluid that we can reach on this bus, and it is in my humble opinion, with my limited knowledge, that I believe this bus is ready for the journey home.
So we've just got to sort that because it's flapping about. So I've borrowed a T-key and a ladder, so we're going to close that up. Okay. There we go. Happy wedding day.
As I've mentioned before, a Routemaster bus does not have a fuel gauge, so the only way to know how much diesel you've got is by opening this up and looking inside.
And now an extremely important test before we drive this vehicle. Yes! And remove the bomb. And try it again. Nice. Up we hop. He's going a bit fast. Nice not having to drive for once, actually. So here comes the M40. We'll be in the slow lane, that's for sure. Our next stop is to get some diesel. So far, so good. We've got to the petrol station in one piece. The only concern we had at first was that there was quite a lot of smoke coming out of it, but I think it's just simply been sat for so long, and as soon as we were on the motorway for about 2 minutes, everything had cleared up, and actually she's running rather well, so good news.
Our trip is coming to an end. However, Richard did not take this journey lightly. We have full roadside recovery in place should we need it. We've had a good old look at her and all the mechanicals, and we've made sure that she's of course 100% road legal. You can never be too sure when driving old stuff like this, especially when it's not been used for a very long time. But our brilliant progress shows me once again how exceptionally well these old girls were built. They really are a testament to proper engineering at its finest. They were built to drive on and on and on.
Do you know what? It actually was a grand day out. And that was RML2630 driving the 70-80-ish mile trip from High Wycombe all the way to the barn without a single hiccup. As you can imagine, all of us were really pleased and super impressed because it's been sat and done nothing for such a long time. Richard obviously really pleased. He realizes he's bought quite a good bus. I have driven it a little bit subsequently and it is slightly down on power. Also, the auto to manual box sometimes gets a bit confused and the brakes definitely need a good overhaul and a sort out. But none of this matters. Lord Barrington will be able to sort all that out with his magic bus wand, and then that bus will be absolutely spot on. Now, once the bus was home safely, Richard said to me, I do have a small gift for you for all the help that you've given me in finding this bus. And he says, actually, it's 2 small gifts. Do not move. Oh yeah! These are a genuine set of Routemaster bus indicators. Now, Richard said he bought these many years ago in case he would buy a bus. The bus he bought has them on there, so he donated this set to Peter's bus for 2730. The rubbers and the lenses you can get, but it's the mechanism and the fixtures, all that stuff is absolutely like hen's teeth. So Richard, I thank you 1,000 times over. Best gift you could give Pete and his bus ever. So that's about all we've got time for this time on Pete and his bus. I'd like to thank you all, per usual, for watching. Your support is much appreciated. Also like to thank all of you that bought a sticker. We've nearly sold out. There is more merchandise coming. I'm doing t-shirts, but they are actually still in transport. So as soon as they arrive, I will post them on the Facebook page, Pete and his Bus. Check it out, and you can order your very own. A quick thank you to Richard for helping me with amazing content this time and last time on Pete and his Bus. And also, as you can tell, I haven't even gone home. I'm still with the bus because we're already prepping for the next event. So, a busy summer, it's all I ever wanted. Guys, I'll see you next time on Pete and his Bus. I'd like to thank Richard this time around for his contributions to the channel. And I'd like to thank that van for reversing right next to my barn with a flippin' reverse sound.
Don't worry, Peeve. I kill him.